Hey everyone, today I got out some of the components for the Bluetooth speaker box that we're going to be building. There's previous videos on that if you want to check it out and see where we're at. Clearly it's not together yet. This is the box we're going to be using, and then some of the components. What I'm going to do today is just kind of hook it all up so we can test it out and show you what it's going to sound like and do. And then I'm almost ready to start cutting, so that'll be a future video. So I've got a battery here. I need this converter. Some of this is already wired up because I've already been doing some testing. A couple speaker wires here, just threw together quickly. The converter is already wired in to a plug that came with the amplifier. And just so you know, we are using this Bluetooth amplifier, and this one has 3 channels, a left, right, and also has a subwoofer channel. So this is the smallest subwoofer I could find, and I purposely did that because I thought it'd be fun to mess with it and try it out. And originally I was going to try and put it in this speaker with the other ones, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. But I'm going to show you what it'll do today, just so you can see it and hear it. So we'll get these guys out. These are just some 4-inch speakers, cheapest ones I could find online. I'm not really going for performance here. It's just kind of fun. I always thought it'd be fun to build one of these speaker boxes. So this is a 2-way speaker, and when I tested them before, they don't really sound the best. They are a little bit loud, too loud, like too much treble, too much, even with some adjustments in the amp. I didn't really care for the sound that much, but I'm not really wanting to invest, too much money in this. So I'd rather start with the cheapest way I could go and see what happens. Now, if you want to buy some like $40, $50 4-inch speakers, you can do that. And there's templates out there to be able to put like 5 1/4-inch speakers in these if you want. But I purposely got the 4-inch because my original plan was to put the subwoofer in there. I needed space. So this originally, would, these are going to get drilled in. 2 of them should fit in there. I haven't tested that yet because I need to drill the holes. 2 of them should fit in there just like that, and then the sub was going to kind of go, somewhere in the middle. But we're just going to do some testing today so you can see how it hooks up and what it sounds like. So let's get going on that. Let's see, maybe I can see if we can see this stuff okay. Let the power up last. So first we'll hook up the 4-inch speakers, test it out, let it run a second so you can hear it, and then I'll plug in the sub. It's already falling apart here. Somewhere one of my little clips fell off, but we'll hook it up anyway. Now when I go to put this in for good, once it's on the box, I have some better wire and better connectors we'll be using. It's just some stuff I have laying around, but it'll work for testing. Now this particular wire has one black line, one without. I'm going to use that as the ground. Doesn't really matter for this as long as you do the same thing on the other end. Okay, those are in there. Let's hook up the speakers. Yeah, and these connections aren't the best. It's just so we can play around with this thing. Look at that, they're already falling apart. Hoping it'll stay together long enough just to test. I don't really want to redo any of this stuff right now. We're just going to wrap that wire around there. Okay, power's next. And that should be it for that part. So you have your main volume, your left and right channels, and then these two over here are your subwoofer frequency and the subwoofer volume. So you can adjust that all independently, which is great because this little guy is not going to take too much power. This particular amp puts out, trying to remember how much. I think it's about 50 watts for each 4-inch and then 100 watts for the subwoofer, which is way too much for that little thing. So that we can adjust those, that's good. That'll keep us from destroying too much. So we'll plug the battery in. And these converters are cheap. They're great for all kinds of stuff. You can wire in anything you want to a tool battery. I've done the upgrade on Power Wheels and had a good time with that. So they're kind of useful to have around. Tool batteries are light, portable, and they last, you know, a while. Okay. Let's see if this thing comes on. All right. All right, so everything's all hooked up. And we're gonna play some music to show you kind of what the amp does and what the components do. I don't really care for these 4-inch speakers that much. They're a little bit too loud on the high end, the treble. It almost makes my ears bleed a little bit, but that's okay. You know, I was trying to buy the cheapest parts that I could, so I guess that's what I get. So I'm playing some royalty-free music from YouTube, so hopefully I don't get in trouble for that. It's gonna be, I got it over here on a laptop, and it's already set up, it's connected to this amp. So I'm gonna play that a little bit, show you what it sounds like without the sub, with just these ones, and then with the sub. So let's turn this up. Let's hit play. Okay, that's the 4-inch speakers, and the bass is all the way up, the treble's like all the way down. And I don't really like the sound of it, but that's okay. So next, I'm gonna turn down the bass on the 4-inch speakers, and I'm gonna crank the bass up on the sub. I want you guys to see this. And for a little speaker, it's really interesting. So let's make sure I don't run out. All right. Okay. So those are all the components I'm going to be using. I'm not sure when I'll get around to it. I'm waiting for the templates. So my son's 3D printing some templates I got online that fit right in this box and shows you exactly where to drill, to fit your speakers. And then he's also going to do a template for the front, because I'll need to drill holes in here for all these knobs to poke through. All the electronics going to be in the bottom drawer. Top drawer is just going to really get cut up, so it'll fit around the magnets in the bottom of these speakers. So that's the plan. So if you want to keep watching this build, just keep an eye out for the channel, subscribe, like, appreciate it very much. And you'll get to see this thing get put together someday. Thank you.